My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Afternoon Drive Home on IC Radio in the town of Geraldine, Alabama. But I'm not in Geraldine, Alabama right now. I'm in Mentone, Alabama. We're your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, two sources. You can find us in North Alabama, channel 182 on Charter Communications. And then worldwide, you can also find us on Abundant TV, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire.
Wow,
Yeah, so we're
that's
all over.
exciting.
Valinda, you couldn't get away from us if you tried. But we're proud to be your source, and we're proud. Also, wanted to thank Rob for making this happen. Rob Patz is his name, and so he's the owner of Abundant TV, Abundant Television. They're all over the country, all over the world, and we definitely appreciate this opportunity to be with you. I'm at Miracle Pottery right now with my very good friend Valinda Miracle. And Valinda has several stories to talk about. But before we talk about the story, I wanted to mention she's not only one of my best friends, she also is a businesswoman. You own several businesses.
Yes.
Let's talk about, now, if folks want to get away, you're looking at us from California and you'd like to come to Alabama and check out Miracle Pottery, where could they stay?
Well, we have treehouse cottages, and they're quite unique. Each one of them has their own uniqueness. Each one of them is different. It's they're all up in the woods.
And that's where everybody wants to go. You know,
Yes.
if you really want to get away, you really want to get away, and you've got it. And it's beautiful here in Mentone.
Yes, it is.
Out here.
And they're very romantic. People like to come here for their anniversaries and honeymoons and birthdays, and it's just a couple getaway.
Mhm.
And they like that because even if they're older couples, they like to get away from the grandkids for a little while and come and just kick back. And this is the place to do it.
Yeah, absolutely, and very reasonable rates, I want to add too. So if you want anywhere in the world, you want to come down here and see what Mentone, Alabama is about, and also this really awesome place called Miracle Pottery.
Oh yes.
Now there's a story behind that.
Absolutely. We've been in business a little over 30 years. We've been making pottery, and it's quite a unique story how it got started. So
Yeah, let's talk about how it got started, because now our lives kind of remind me of each other. So both were in this corporate world,
yes.
and we thought we were happy. Made good money and all, traveled and all this kind of stuff, but there's more to life than that.
Yes. Well, I was in corporate real estate and traveled, had a company car and expense account, and thought I was doing okay. And had a bad car wreck one day, and a closed head injury, lost all short-term memory. I couldn't scramble myself an egg. I couldn't drive a car. I'd have a skillet of grease on, and I'd be outside, and the house would be ablaze. I'd be running water, and it'd be out on the floor, and I'd be back in the bedroom. I'd get in my car to go somewhere. That I'd traveled. We're in a tri-state area here, and you could be in another state on one tank of gas. So I would get in the car to drive, and couldn't remember to turn left or right. I'm telling my age here because we didn't have our phones and the navigational system.
Yeah, remember that.
If I had that, I probably could have made it all right. But we didn't. We did not have that luxury. So I would get lost because I couldn't remember to turn left or right, and I would just get into a full-blown panic, and they'd have to come find me, and they'd try to figure out which state I was in. So and then they took the keys away from me, and that day they might as well just kind of shot me in the head, because that took away the last independence I had. And you know, the doctors would talk very loud in front of me, and they would say, "Oh, she's never ever going to get any better. You might as well just go ahead and put her in an institution now, because she's never going to be any better. She's
Did
just
they
going to
realize you could hear them say that?
continue to get worse." And yes, and I looked at him and I said, I didn't even bother to call him doctor. I said, "Sir, you know, I have a little memory problem, but I'm not hard of hearing." And as a matter of fact, it's been increased, and so has my eyesight, and all my other senses have been increased. I'm just having little memory problems here. And so that just kind of threw him back a little bit. But I, you know, some things I remember, some things I remember him saying, but I had a dear friend that was a counselor at school, and she said, Valinda, I just can't stand seeing you this way. And I said, well, Linda, I don't like it too good either. And she said, well, sometimes you can use the artistic side of your brain and it'll trick your memory. And I said, well, that's a lovely thought, but I don't have any artistic ability. I can't draw a stick man. She said,
That's hard to imagine. I'm going to let you see what her shop looks like.
and she said, everybody has talent, it's just hidden. And I said, well, mine's out under a big rock somewhere because it's never come forth. She said, oh, I'm going to go, I've signed us up for a pottery class. Come and go with me and I'll drive you because I know you can't do that. And I said, well, is that where you do something with clay? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, I don't know much about pottery.
Is that something you do with clay? When you see what she's got here, you're going to think like, she said, what?
Well, I had no idea what to do. And even the teacher, we took a 1-week course, and then even the teacher said, Valinda, you'll never be able to do this. And I'm thinking, oh my, well, these hands made this little piece. Surely they can make one more. And I would just sit, and at that time I used an old kick wheel, foot powered. And now, of course, we use electric, and we have several of them. But at that time, I just had one, and I was grateful to have it. Somebody built it for me. And I would sit at that old wheel day after day after day and just rework the same clay over and over and over because I had lost everything I had. I had no money, couldn't do anything, but I just tried to stay out of trouble, to keep from burning the house down and
Right.
getting lost and those kind of things. And so I would just sit and do that because I really liked it, As I think back on it, as a child, I guess God was preparing me for it because if I ever got a toy or any resemblance of a toy, I wanted modeling clay. And then I would make my little wire. We had a mud puddle near our house, and I would put my little wires out around the mud puddle, my little plates and little saucers and things around, little dogs and cats around the mud puddle. And of course, I'd be in trouble with Mother because I'd mess up my clothes. And so, but I remember doing that. And so I guess he was preparing me for way down the road what he was going to instruct me to do. And I have to say that it's all God inspired, every piece of pottery that's in here.
I love the mark you put on the back, on the bottom of your potteries.
Well, it said, I put a cross first, and I asked God to bless whoever's receiving this, because a lot of them are gifts. So it's not necessarily going to the person that purchased it. So I say the one that's receiving this, and I ask God to bless them. And then I simply put miracle. It's a miracle that I can make pottery, but it just happens to be my last name. And then I always put the year.
So when you were born, God ordained this, and then when you got married, God ordained this.
Well,
for the name to fit.
Yes, I married a man named Miracle. So, and then the last few years, about 3 years now, I've been putting Made in USA on it because we're proud to be Americans.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But that mark, and when you buy some of this pottery, it'll mean something to you when you say, I've got some for pottery. And when you look on the bottom of it, and mention that if you're buying it for a gift for someone, that's what it means.
Yes. Yes, I mean, and people love that. And on our mugs, we have a thumbprint. I guess I don't even have one right here, but
I'll grab one while you're talking to everybody.
Well, that one doesn't have it.
Okay. Our Vanna White just came by. Vanna, do you want to say anything to anybody?
We put this little thumbprint on each piece, and I've been doing that for 30 years, and people come in and say, oh, I just love this little thumbprint. So it's a place to put my thumb and hold it. And they say, I just love that. And I said, well, that's sort of my trademark because I've been doing it for about 30 years now. And I see other potters that do that, but this was just a unique thing that I started doing a long time ago. And it makes them kind of special. They like holding it that way. And of course, I like doing a lot of the carving and things on it. So um, we love what we do here.
I love it, and again, it's unique. And this is another thing. My husband really likes the big handles, but I do like it. I like the way it services, and I like the way. But I like it because it's unique. There's not another one like this anywhere.
No, no, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, people come in and they'll set two up side by side, and they'll say, "Oh, well, this one's slightly taller than this one," and I'm saying,
That's because it's handcrafted.
well, you do know that we make it with a piece of clay on a wheel, and we do have a little pointer there, and we strive to make them match because we make a lot of dinnerware, and we strive to make them match, but they're going to shrink at different rates, you know, even though when we first make them, we line them up there and they're all the same, but no, they shrink at different way, you know, different rates, so they don't stay that way, but that's, each piece is a work of art, absolutely a work of art. And God just directs me what to do and how to do. We have bacon cookers and egg scramblers and chicken bakers and vegetable steamers and dinnerware and all these wonderful things. And people will come in and ask us about the bacon cookers, and they'll say, does this really work? And I'm saying, no. We just sell thousands of them and tell you they do.
I like her sense of humor too. Absolutely. Now, what is a bacon cooker for those who may not know what one is?
This is a bacon cooker, and you take your bacon as if this was a piece of bacon, and you put half in and half out all the way around, and it holds 6 or 7 slices. And then I moisten a paper towel and put it over the top and put it in the microwave. 1 minute per slice, and it comes out the crispiest, best bacon you ever had.
And so it drains down the
grease.
It
down in here, and you take your bacon off and lay it out, and then pour the grease off. And if you'd like to keep it, you can put it in green beans or whatever you like.
You make soap out of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, lye soap.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my Aunt Elizabeth, who is 100, she'll be 101 years old this month, still does it.
Wow.
This woman's a firecracker. I hope I got her genes, because I'm going to tell you what she's got. She's on top of it. But yeah, she makes lye soap.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome.
Out of bacon grease.
Wow. And
you would think you could smell it in the soap, but something happens to it. And once you put that lye to it, it does. And then of course, you'll add essential oils, stuff like that, if you want to. And I don't know what it does. You do not smell the bacon.
Wow.
And it makes it really lathery.
And then another thing, that this cooks actually.
That's what we need to do sometime. I'll come over here.
We'll make soap. Okay,
we'll make some lye soap with some of your bacon grease.
That would work. But you pour the grease off and turn this upside down in the dishwasher, and it cleans up like Teflon.
There you go.
Cooks like iron skillet, but cleans up like Teflon.
Now there are different finishes. I like the finish to this one.
Yes, this particular finish we call a farmhouse, or biscuits and gravy. My late husband called it biscuits and gravy because of the white and the. Hand me another bacon cooker. Biscuits and gravy because with the specks in it, and so it's country looking, and people are loving this farmhouse. You know, you remember years ago when they started going to the shabby chic, and it just kind of went on, and so now we've got the pottery and things to go with it. Now this is another color. And
I like that one.
This is another color.
And I see the 2 little holes right here where it'll help it come out.
And whenever your bacon is on there, if you get it off while it's still hot and lay it on something flat, it stays flat. But if the phone rings and you don't get it off and it dries like this, well, all you have to do is take those 2 pieces and hook them together and lay them on the plate, and they think you're automatically a gourmet cook.
You come over to my farmhouse kitchen sometime, and we're going to make some bacon. Then we'll turn around and make some soap out of it.
All right, that sounds like a deal.
It really is. You know, I was talking with one of my friends, and her name is Susie Stover. And Susie is a home decorator for Ethan Allen. And she travels all over the country. And so she travels to New York quite a bit, Chicago, and some of the she's big time in decorating. And I said, well, how are they decorating? I bet they don't even know what the farmhouse look is. She said, are you kidding me? She said, where you and I will go out, she lives in Nashville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
She said, well, we'll go in the back of a barn and find something and put it up, and set it out. They will pay lots of money for stuff that we just pick up out in the backyard. But she said, oh yeah, those big lofts in New York, they're designing farmhouse look.
Wow. Well, maybe that's why we sell. We usually, when we make farmhouse pottery, we make 3 times as many of the farmhouse as we do any of the other colors, because we sell more. And it is great demand. And we do have an online store, and you can go on there and purchase it. And it's but it's a hot ticket item right now.
It always was with us, though, because it was just, and I've just found stuff in the barn. We bought my grandparents' old farmhouse, and they bought the farm back in the 1930s. And see, I told you time flies by.
Oh my.
Just a few more minutes before we have to go into a break. When I'm with her, I have to really look at the clock, because I will forget what time it is. And the show will stop at a particular time, whether I want it to or not. So anyway, I had to keep a look on the watch. But we go out into my granddad's barn and find stuff. And so my husband built, you got to see this, he built a kitchen island recently. He got some of the old barn wood, found some tin out at the back of the barn, and he put the pretty side up with the tin. And then I hated to have him do it over again. I said, that's not what I wanted. I wanted he said, you wanted it has all this weird colors and stuff? And I said, yes, that's what I wanted.
Yes.
And it is so pretty. And I tell him, if the house catches fire, first thing I'll do is get our pictures, the kids and all this.
Yeah.
And then I'll grab my pen. I've got a grand piano. And then we'll grab that kitchen island. I don't want anything happening to it. But it's history, and it's part of history. And your pottery reminds people of their grandparents, maybe of their pictures they've seen of their great-grandparents. It just brings back memories.
Absolutely. And mention the farmhouse things. Our cottages are decorated with tin. Our number 3 cottage has a tall, about 16-foot ceiling, and we have the rusted tin on top, and we have a bed that literally is made out of a cedar post, and they go all the way up and branch out of the top, like you're in a real tree house.
You gotta come. Yeah, we want you to come to Alabama. First of all, we're going to be really friendly. We're going to just love you. We'll hug you if you'll let us. And if you want to wear a mask, you can wear a mask. We're okay with that. That's fine. But that's the thing I missed about when we had COVID. I couldn't hug everybody. I do all this, elbow bumps. I didn't like that. But come down here. We'll take good care of you, and she will take real good care of you at that cottage.
Absolutely, absolutely. They're really uniquely. One of them has a watering can for a shower, outdoor watering can for a shower, and they're really unique.
Oh, the guys from Cowboy Church would love this. They really would. We go to Cowboy Church.
Really?
Lookout Mountain. Yeah, it's kind of between Fort Payne and Collinsville. And I fit right in with them. I'm a farmer. Oh, do you know I have bees now?
Do you really?
Yeah, I'm a beekeeper now.
Oh, wow.
All of my corporate friends can't believe all this stuff's happening. They're like, you're a farmer? and you're a beekeeper? But I love it. It's the simple life.
Well, we need to have some of your honey here, because we have honey pots.
You have the honey
stems.
pots.
Yes, so we need to sell your honey here.
Well, I'm getting ambitious with it. Now, I only started out with 3 hives, so we're gonna go to 10 next year.
Oh wow! Well, can we put your pottery in? Your honey in?
Yes. Absolutely. I gotta see that now.
And the stem.
Look at there.
This is a honey pot, and it comes with
and honey is so good for you.
There we go. And this is a little swizzle stick that something will drip all over everything.
I'm glad you're doing that. And I'm gonna let all the beekeepers know about this. I go to a meeting in Jackson County. I've got to let the beekeepers know about this. I love hanging out with them. They give you so much knowledge of things, and how honey is good for you and that kind of thing. But yeah, you got to check this stuff out. Now, we've talked about your story, and I kind of butted in on you because I started looking around. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I'll let you go on with your story again.
I'm trying to think where we got. Well, I just started making pottery, and
this was from a class, and then you just caught on. And
yes, I did, and it just but the main thing, I had to find a way to make a little money because I had lost everything, so I could keep
Yeah.
making more pots. And I said, well, I really need some more clay. I need some glaze. I got to have a kiln and all this and that. So I opened up a little place in Mentone. I have owned 6 restaurants in the area, but right across the street from what used to be the Log Cabin Deli, I opened up a little bitty shop up there and started putting my little wares out. And I didn't know whether anybody would want my little wares or not, but this lady came in and she started gathering the stuff up, and she had a whole armful, and she said,
And you're going, don't break it, please.
and she's standing there like this, and she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and she said, I'd like to purchase these, please,
In your shop, gosh,
and I'm
wants
saying,
to.
yeah, and I'm saying, and I'm kind of looking, and she said, well, they are for sale, aren't they? And I said, well, kind of, sort of, but those are my first little babies.
That was the firstborn.
So and then the next lady came in did the same thing.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, God, you're just so good. Because I needed to buy some more clay and some more glaze. I didn't even think about making money or anything like that. I just needed to support my habit of making pottery.
Because it can be a habit if you're not careful. And this is another thing. You teach classes, is that right?
I did have 10 wheels upstairs, but right now we have the online store. We have the retail store. We have the out here where we make it, where we manufacture it, and then we have the cottages. So at my age, I had to kind of cut back a little bit. So I'm not doing any
That won't last, I know her.
any classes right now, but perhaps at another time.
Yeah, I'm getting her started again.
Well, I might do some private classes.
So sometimes God will whisper something in our ears, and we just have to listen and be ready for it. Is that what you did? You had to be, first of all, you're going down the wrong track.
I think you're right. Absolutely
And you had to be,
right.
because some people like me are really hard-headed, and a rock has to really fall on top of my head before I ever get it. So, but I've noticed when I don't do it my way and I start doing it God's way, things run a lot smoother and it just comes to me.
Absolutely. Well, all these ideas, people says, well, how do you come up with these ideas? And I'm saying, they just come to me in the middle of the night. And just like the paintings that I do, I do some marvelous inspirational paintings that he gave me. He gave me visions to do them. And I had 2 Bob Ross type Michael's paint courses, 2 one-day courses, and started painting these lovely paintings, and all inspirational. And they're just, it's just amazing when people see them, and you did that with one-day course. I said, you got to remember, I couldn't draw a stick man. But I have a piece of pottery that's in the shop here, and it kind of represents self-portrait. And it was when I was...
Are you talking about that one right there, the heavy? And that's real heavy looking.
And I don't know if we can get a picture of it.
Is it too heavy for me to go over there and get? I don't want to break
it's
it.
very, very heavy.
She'd shoot me in front of
Very
every
heavy.
single one of you. Shoot that
But
right
it was when I was in the corporate world, and it was the artist that was in me all the time trying to break free.
Let's show it, and I'm going to let you hold it up there as close as you can. I'm going to step right over there just for a second. I've got to check something on the...
Okay. I don't know if you can get that or not.
If you can see that, but it's just a beautiful. And what I'll tell you what I can do. Let's see if this is big enough. I'll just take this off, and you need to tell me when I'm getting close to it. Okay. So I'm going to take this camera and see if I can show folks. Can you see it? Do I have it angled the right way?
You're in good shape right there. Yes.
Okay. And that's a self-portrait basically of you. Is that right?
That was the artist that was in me all the time trying to break free.
Look at that. And I'm pretty sure that's not for sale.
Well, no. I made 2 others before I had to have heart surgery, but now since I've had heart surgery, I can't make a piece that big anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids tell me I cannot sell that one.
Yeah, well, I don't blame them. I would do the same way. I'm going to kind of maneuver, and then you can see what I'm showing, and just kind of explain to people what this is.
Well,
USA.
USA, we're real proud to be in America.
Mm-hmm.
And we're proud to make American products. And although I am Native American, and we do make the Indian style pots, but we're glad to be making pottery in the United States, because it's the greatest country in the whole wide world.
It is. I mean, and there'll never be another one like it. Now you have, and this is a beautiful piece down here. Now, tell me the story of this one. It looks like a flower.
Well, that's just a sculpture piece, and it does look like I formed it to look like a daylily.
Mm-hmm. It is beautiful. I love that. And you have all sizes of, I mean, you've thought of everything, or God has put the thought in your mind.
Yes, ma'am, and we do the Rebecca pictures. And if you want to, while you're over there, show one of our paintings here.
Mm-hmm. Turning water into wine. Now look over there and make sure I have it
and
angled.
You need to go a little closer to it. It's fading out.
Okay.
Which way you go. It's not.
Okay. And maybe the smaller one would make.
Yes.
How about that?
Oh, that one's better.
Okay.
That was a vision he showed me in the middle of the night, and with the hand,
I see the hand.
pouring out the water, and just before he hit the pot, it turned to wine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Jesus' first miracle. And then there's one where the blind man was healed, and then another one, a man's voice was restored.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Now I'm going to take the camera. Oh, I've got to look at this one right here. And I see a cross, and it's that really pretty, it's got, I can barely see, from heaven. And that's a pretty piece too. Well, everything here is just gorgeous.
We'll have the Rebecca pictures, and people love those. Mm-hmm. And that's another whole story.
Now tell me about this setting right here. This is a beautiful, people come by and have their pictures made in front of this all the time.
When we had a smaller, in a smaller shop, we didn't have very much room, so we had to go up. Mm-hmm. So we put a tree in so we could hang, and then we call it the mug tree. But over the years, it's got brittle, so we hang crosses and smaller things on it now. But we used to hang mugs on it, and we called it the mug tree.
There you go. Well, it is beautiful.
And so when we moved from the other shop over to here, you should have seen us carrying this whole big thing over here.
And those are beautiful pieces. Could you use those outside in a garden area?
You probably could, yes. And we have some out there.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't make many outdoor things. Mm-hmm. We concentrate on functional.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's beautiful farmhouse. I love the purples.
Mm-hmm. People do.
And
people
of
love
course,
that color.
everything you have. I love it as well. Okay, I'll go ahead and place this down. We're probably just about ready to go into a commercial break, so I'll go ahead and move this camera back here on our computer. And we'll have us another seat. We'll sit for a spell.
Well, I should have had us some coffee to sit in.
No, you don't want me with any more coffee. I've already had a lot of it already. Okay, we're a little bit past the commercial break, so let's go ahead and go into a commercial break, and we're going to be right back in just a few minutes, and y'all hang in there, okay? Wiesel, and I'm your host of Afternoon Drive Home on IC Radio. That's In Christ Radio. We're your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television a couple different ways. You can find us on North Alabama, that's channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundance TV. Rob Pat's on. This is a Christian radio and television network. He owns radio stations and television stations all over the country, and about to be in Australia, so we're real proud of him on that. But you can find Abundant TV on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. You know, a lot of folks have these little sticks. They're kind of like that, and you can just put that on your television. You got to have a smart TV. Are there any smart TVs left anymore? Are they all dumb? Some of the stuff you see on television, I don't know about that. They're calling them smart, but I'm not so sure about it. But anyway, you get this little stick and you put it into smart television, and you can just watch all kinds of radio stations and TV stations and just all kinds of stuff. And that's how you can find Abundant TV. All kinds of great shows are on. It's not just us. You'll find other talk shows on there as well. So Rob, thank you so much for making that happen. You know, this is a really, really crazy world right now, and people are looking for good news.
Absolutely.
I don't even listen to the news anymore, and I'm in the business. So I got to know what's going on. So I just have a few sources that I'll just, you know, kind of watch and pick up on some things. But we want good news, and that's why I called you and I said, I'm going to do a show with you, Valinda. Because people have to see good stuff. You can't be inundated with bad news all the time.
Well, and
depression will set in.
Yes, and we need happy things happening, you know.
And this is a happy place.
It is a happy place. People come in here all the time and say, wow, what is it about this place? There's such peace in here. Wow. And everything's so beautiful. The colors are wonderful. But we just want to hang out here. And I have people come up the driveway and they say, my car just kind of turned in. I don't know why I'm here. I said, just hang out a little bit. You'll find out here in a little bit. And, you know, it's just amazing how people come from all over the world to this little place and enjoy shopping.
God brings them.
He does bring them. He does bring them. And
now you're real easy to get to, just off of 59, Interstate 59, and heading north up from Fort Payne.
There's 2.5 miles from I-59.
But it's such a beautiful area, kind of away from everything. You're in town. You're on the freeway. All of a sudden, you're in a peaceful situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just so peaceful and quiet. And actually, we're in the city limits of Valley Head, but people associate us with Mentone more. We're almost halfway in between both towns. So, but that's not saying a lot. We have 3 little towns here that we don't even have a traffic light. So
oh, we got you beat. Geraldine, we got one. When I graduated from high school, it was a 4-way stop.
Right.
That was a long time ago, and I was at the hardware store one day, and this
just
guy
a year or so ago, wasn't it?
A lot longer than a year ago. Much longer, and I'm proud of it. I shouldn't even be here, but I'm proud of every year. Absolutely, yeah, 63, and I mean, I'm just proud to be 63, and I mean, it's fun because you somehow, I don't have all the wisdom in the world, but you go through these circumstances and things just happen in your life. And you start gaining, I mean, even I can gain knowledge at 63. So you have enough bad things happen, and you can kind of help other folks out when they've been through.
Well, at 73,
I'm
so grateful to be able to work 7 days a week and be able to create and do the things that we do here. And but I have some of the most wonderful girls helping me now that ever could be.
They brighten it up when you walk in. It's just such a friendly atmosphere.
Yes, they are absolutely wonderful, and I'm so grateful to have them. It makes my day so much better because there's been times I stand out here by myself. So these gals just, they take a lot of pressure off of me, and they make it to where I can work 7 days a week.
You know, a lot of people are going through a crisis there, and it's nothing to do with their family or anything like that. They're just at a job they hate. And most of that is, I hate to say it, it's a corporate environment nowadays, you know, so much of this woke stuff and all of that, and people are afraid to speak their mind. They're afraid somebody's going to get offended. You know what? You can offend me. I'm tough. I can take it. 63 years, I'm used to it. But I like for people to be frank with me and tell me honest. You know, if you think, and I know you would, if I were about to fall off a cliff, Valinda would tell me. I mean,
Absolutely.
she would tell me. That's what a real friend does for you. But we appreciate you watching the show today because we're bringing some light into your world. And this is pretty awesome. We're hearing a lot of folks talk about working with their hands now.
Yes.
And this is something you and I already knew about.
Hmm.
But finally, the rest of the world's catching up with us.
Absolutely.
But there's
Absolutely.
something peaceful about working with your hands and creating and being an artist.
Yes, it's so soothing and satisfying. And the time the girls say out here, we'll be out here putting handles on and sanding and doing and making pots all day and loading and unloading the keels, and the time just passes so fast
It does.
because we enjoy what we're doing.
Uh-huh.
And they're coming right along. They're making slab pieces, and they're just coming right along and creating, and they enjoy it. And I have a son that lives next door that, by the way, has just gone through a liver transplant, and his little wife, and she's a nurse, and they love coming here after they've worked all day. They come up here, and I said, "Well, y'all, you guys are tired." They said, "Oh, this is so relaxing. This is so wonderful. We love this." This is Mr. Clay, our CEO.
Hey, Mr. Clay, the CEO.
He's about 13 years old. He's been hanging out here, and he's never broke a pot. And he used to sit at the wheel with me. And when I would, he'd sit in my lap when I was making pots, and I'd stop the wheel, and he'd take that little paw and just pat on that piece of clay, and I'd leave those little paw prints in there. And but somebody says, "Well, you dare let him be in here?" And I said, "He's never broke a thing."
There's something about animals, and they know when you're having a rough day. They know when you're having a good day, and they have feelings. And
Come on.
and you got to come up here and be on television
Come on.
with us. You want to be on
Come on.
television? Sweet.
And sometimes people will say, "I don't need anything. I just came to pet Clay."
Well, that's the perfect name for you. So you're the mascot. But they know when you hurt. They know when you're happy.
Well, he never ever gets on the counter where we check out. He never gets on that counter
He knows
ever,
what to do.
unless we're standing there, and believe me, this happens a lot. We're standing there holding hands, praying, and he'll jump up in between our hands and sit there and purr till we get through praying.
Well, he wants to be in on a prayer.
He says, "That's a pretty good place to be."
Yeah, that's the best place that you can do. That's the best thing a friend can do for you is pray for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And isn't it wonderful to be able to call on friends? "Hey, I've got to have prayer." And you hardly ever ask for yourself because you're always praying for others. But just once in a while, you just have to have a little prayer. And it's wonderful when you can call up somebody and say, "Can you help me out a little bit?"
It is.
And there's a lot of praying going on around here. And people come in and it's like, "Wow, there's something about this place." I said, "Angels like to hang out here."
They do.
And
You
we
can
have
just feel
we
the
have seen
presence,
them.
can't you?
We have seen them in here. So they enjoy that.
That's nice. That's really nice. We have a cat, and I know you knew Jimmy Rogers, who owned the Greenleaf Grill.
Yes.
That's where my cat came from.
Oh, are you
Yeah,
kidding
Jimmy and I
me?
were friends.
Oh my.
And so, Jimmy passed away, and he was just a sweet friend. And so his sister said, "We don't know what we're going to do with this cat." And I said, "I want him. I want to adopt him." And we've got him. Now, it was kind of tough because he missed Jimmy. They've got feelings, and he mourned for Jimmy.
Oh my.
He really did. But now he's part of the family. And Phil is the one my husband said, "No, I don't know cats around here."
Yeah.
And but you know what? He loves his cat now, and the cat loves him. And sometimes I have to, and we named him Greenlee after the Greenleaf Grill.
Oh, Greenlee.
And so I'll have to remind Greenlee sometimes, "Greenlee, I'm the reason you're here, okay?" Now, I wanted to talk again because we've got just a few minutes left. Do you know that we've been on the air now for 42 minutes?
Are you kidding me?
It's always when you're doing something you love doing. But I've got to make sure we cover everything. But I wanted to get back to the cottages again. And I know you can't see it. Later on, what I'm going to do is get some of the pictures and get some of the bigger pictures.
You mind him being over there?
No, I love cats. I love dogs. I love cats. I got chickens now too, by the
Oh
way.
wow.
Yeah,
Eggs?
yeah. Yeah, you want some eggs?
Yeah.
They are the best eggs ever. You probably can't see, and the picture's worth 1,000 words, but what I'm gonna do is get you to send me some of these pictures. But I'm looking at this, the ceilings are extremely high
I don't know
here.
if you can get
And no, it's too shiny. You
too
won't be able to
shiny.
see it. But
Okay.
now, can folks see these pictures on a website?
They can go on um, Treehouse Cottages, Valley Head, Alabama, and we don't actually rent them here. We go through Evolve or Home Away or
Verbo.
yeah, all these,
Yeah.
and you can go on any one of those sites and pull these up, and there'll be 30 or 40 photographs of each one, and they're pretty neat. And
Because you can go to verbo.com, just type in, would they type in Valley Head or Mentone?
it'll come up both ways.
Really?
It'll
Okay.
come up both ways.
And then you'll be able to
But
see what we can see right here.
Treehouse Cottages, and they're pretty unique. And they're up in the trees. I had some when we had storms the other day. We had people up there, and they said they was from Washington State,
Uh-huh.
and here they are up in the treehouse with a tin roof, and it's thundering and lightning and booming, and they said, well, we kind of wondered about it, and I said, well, I was down there praying for you, and they said, I said, I prayed for all the bad weather to go up in the upper atmosphere, not bring any harm to anything or anybody, and they said, it worked.
It does work. It really does. Let's talk a little bit about because I'm pretty sure you might have been angry at God when you had the accident. How do you get out of that mode? Because here's what happens. Every time something happens to us, we say it's God's fault. No, it's not. Sometimes He has to use something to turn us around and go a different direction.
Well, sometimes it's like eagle's nest. He has to kind of stir the nest to get us up on the edge. And it's not a lot of fun whenever Mama accidentally comes and knocks us off, and we go plummeting down, and she scoops up under us and catches us on her wings. And that's kind of how Jesus does us. He kind of has to get us out of our comfort zone. And I think that's probably what happened with you and I both. That's why we're not in the corporate world anymore, and we're making fun and happy things for other people. That it's a lot more fun.
Oh yeah, it's much more because I felt like when I was in the corporate world, I was promoting myself a lot, and I'm not good at promoting myself. I like to promote other people. I'm a champion of other folks, and to me it's just easier because, and I find awesome folks, and I interview them and I talk about all the really neat things they do that I wish I could do. But you can show other people how you went through a struggle.
Yes.
Because some people think, oh, that person was born into it, or that person, that's not necessarily how it happens every time.
And even I've written books about the struggles
We
we've
need to
had,
talk about your books right here too.
and many miracles.
The Dead Don't Bleed. I love this book.
The dead don't bleed; those who are alive do. And the reason for the title of that was I survived the flesh-eating disease. And the doctors pretty much named this book, but this is stock full of all kinds of miracles, my miracles and other people's miracles. I've had several near-death experiences, and God has been so gracious, and he just makes good out of every single thing that happens to you. If you allow Him, He will just turn it all around and make good out of everything, you know. If you really don't have a lot to cook, you can throw it all in a pot and have a real good soup.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I think
Soup's
that's
good.
kind of how I think He does, is make soup out of bad situations. I know that's kind of a crazy way to
No,
put
it's a
it, but
good way. It makes common sense about
and then
that.
this one is about the little unborn babies, and he showed me the whole vision of it. I had made a bunch of pots, and they were all out in my studio, and I went back the next morning, and there's little footprints all over them. I thought, what is this? This is all a vision that he gave me to do the book. And what is this? And he said, all the little unborn babies were searching for a place to make their mark on this earth, and they found your pottery. And so he even showed me how to sculpt the little footprints and to make the little pieces so that the mothers, and it's all about forgiveness. Oh, it's so beautiful. And it's narrated by the little children. They're doing the talking. And
It's a beautiful book. You need to get this one.
uh, they're doing the talking. Well, I was going to be a ballerina or this or that. And Mommy, when you fell, I know you didn't mean to fall, and it's okay. Jesus is my teacher, and we can't wait for you to get here. It's just such a precious, precious healing book, and people that has had abortions or miscarriages or lost a child anyway, they're coming in here seeking these because it gives them something tangible to hold on to. And I'm so grateful that, and I didn't want to write it. I wrote it kicking and screaming, but
It's beautiful though.
but the Lord said, write it because there's things in there that I didn't want to share with the whole wide world, but He wanted it shared so it could bring healing to
You know
others.
something? I've got a hero, and this is going to shock you. One of my heroes. You're one of my heroes, and I have a number of folks who are heroes. But my hero is the woman who says, "I need to get an abortion. I can't afford this kid. I can't do it." But she decides to have it, and then she realizes that she can't take good care of it, and she gives this beautiful baby up for adoption. That woman's my hero. It really is.
Absolutely.
Because there are some awesome people out there who can't have kids.
Absolutely.
And you made a beautiful being for them to raise. My daughter-in-law's adopted.
Really?
She came from
Absolutely.
Russia.
Oh,
And
my.
we're really glad she was adopted.
Oh,
And
wow.
we're glad her mother had her.
Oh, that's just a wonderful
Yeah,
story.
she's a beautiful girl.
Story.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my piece on it. Those are my heroes, the women who decide, you know what, it's going to be tough, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'll give it up for adoption, but I'm going to go ahead and have it.
Absolutely.
You're an awesome woman.
Absolutely.
Now, this disease that you had, let's talk about that just for a second. Is it a flesh-eating disease?
I went in the hospital for microscopic gallbladder surgery and microscopic bladder tag. They punctured my intestine, punctured my bladder. From that, I got peritonitis. They put me on a refrigerated bed. Then from that, I got necrotizing fasciitis, the flesh-eating disease. And it can totally consume you within 48 hours. And they were getting ready to remove my whole left side because it had spread down my leg and up under my arm. I had it in my lower left abdomen. It spread down my leg past my knee and up under my arm past my elbow. And so they were getting ready to do radical surgery. They didn't know if they would just be taking chunks out or the whole limbs. But they had a whole team of doctors, and they told my family I probably would not make it out of surgery. They told me I probably wouldn't make it out of surgery, but we didn't know that someone had told us, so we were just all keeping face. But we knew that where I was going, and it was okay. It was okay. I had had a good life, and it was okay. But God, in His sovereignty, Jesus appeared in my room, and I saw Him just like I see you, Donna. And He miraculously healed me. So whenever they took me in and took the packing out to do this radical surgery, they were cutting away the dead flesh to keep it from spreading to your entire body. They took the packing out to start this procedure. I was bleeding. That meant I would live. And they said
that was a good thing.
That was a good thing. And they said the doctor come running down the hall. They could see him way down the hall with a big beaming grin and said, she's bleeding, she's going to live.
That's good.
And they're saying,
like Christ bled for us.
Yes. But see, that meant that there was still life there. That it wasn't dead, that they didn't have to cut it away. There was life. And that meant I would live. Well, you can't see me right now, but I do still have my arm and my leg, and I'm able to make pots go right on and do all these wonderful things that he grants me to do.
Clay likes his story.
Well, I wear a pacemaker, and he loves to lay right here so he can hear my pacemaker, and whenever he's right here, he just purrs because he thinks I'm purring.
Now let's talk about you, and I keep going back to this because, you got to see what it looks like. These are beautiful, beautiful rooms right here. But if you want to come down here and spend some time with Valinda and check out her pottery, stay at one of her places here. There are a number of good restaurants around here too.
Yes, there are. Tyler's Inn in the valley here, and the Rib Shack, and Wildflower. and we miss the Greenleaf Grill really bad,
Oh.
and the Hatter. Nina's has food now. We have, and they have a little coffee shop in there and have great produce and all these wonderful things in there, and homemade goodies and jams and jellies and lots of things. But they have a little coffee shop in there now. And so people are just, they're unique places that people can go. It's not the
I
fast
like it.
foods.
It's not like a mall. It's not like where everything tastes the same. It's all
No,
unique.
it's home cooking,
Mm.
and we like that.
You'll
Don't
get some good Alabama cooking here.
we? Yes,
You'll like that. And there's some little unique shops around here too.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
one lady, I was here it's been probably a couple of years ago, and she had just a bunch of stones, and I make jewelry out of stones, and they were beautiful pieces, and she had some jasper pieces,
Mm.
and I don't know if she's still around or not. It was before COVID hit, I think, and so it was just a bunch of beautiful old buildings, and there's a church here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it was built I think in the 1800s, and there's a tree, and they call it the bending tree.
Yes.
And I saw that bending tree, and I heard the story on that. And it said the Indians would get a tree, a small tree, and would kind of maneuver it and make it point a particular way.
Mm-hmm.
And this one actually pointed towards the water. So if somebody was coming and they were hungry, they would know what that bending tree meant.
Right.
It meant you're close to water.
Right. Oh, that's a neat story. I
Mhm.
like that. I like that.
Oh, I'm so into history.
Oh, I love history, and Mentone and this area has a lot of history,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a little bit like when you go downtown Mentone. It's a lot of it's made up by log cabins,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel like you're kind of stepping back into time a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I came down here selling real estate, um, I felt like I had stepped back into time, and someone showed me the building that where Jimmy was. And at that time, he wanted me to sell it, and I said, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but you just sold it. And in 10 days, I was in the restaurant business, driving back and forth from Chattanooga. And it just has a special meaning for me. And I've been here about 40 years now, and I just love it here.
Well, there's also an art feeling to this place. Music, you know, I mean, so many talented people, whether it's art, music,
Mhm.
you with your pottery and
Yes,
your artwork as well.
yes. It's just
Something in the
it's-
water around here.
I think it's people are drawn here because of the peace and serenity,
Mm-hmm.
and God just kind of hangs out here.
Mm-hmm.
So people are drawn
Yeah.
to His Spirit, I think.
Mm-hmm. And you're not that far from Chattanooga. If you wanted to go to the big city, I don't know why you would after being here.
Well, they have a nice aquarium up there in
Oh,
Rock
yeah.
City and
Mhm.
Ruby Falls, and a lot of tourist things, and of course we have nice waterfalls here.
Mhm.
Oh my, and they were
Little
overflowing
hidden
over the weekend.
gems.
Yes.
Yeah. And this time of the year, we're back to being the fall time of the year. It is magnificent when you drive up these roads and you see the beautiful leaves, the way they've turned color.
Yes. It's a
And
beautiful.
birds, all kinds of birds out in here. If you're a bird watcher, you want to come down here too.
Well, every once in a while out, we're walking from one building to the other, and there's eagles that circle over the head, and they'll just whistle at us when we're walking from one building to the other, like, hey!
Is God speaking to us again? Through birds. Now, what would you like? We've got just about a little bit under 4.5 minutes left in this segment. It flew. What's some information you'd really like to get out there to folks? And let's talk good news too, because people are tired of all this mundane, bad stuff.
Well, can we give the address?
Mm-hmm.
Miracle Pottery, 7871 State Highway 117 in Valley Head, 35989. And we have Miracle Pottery, Treehouse Cottages. We manufacture the pots here, and it's just a neat place to be. And if you miss us here, and maybe you're in California, we do have an online store, miraclepottery.com.
Because you ship all over the world.
We do. We ship everywhere.
Mm-hmm. It's just a beautiful place. What I'd like to do is get that camera. And now you're going to have to help me keep up with what time it is. And because Phil's going to edit this, and I've got to make sure that it ends at exactly 3:31, or he's going to be on me.
Okay.
So let's walk around, and I'm going to get the camera and the computer, and I'm just going to kind of I think I can do it without that. And you just kind of walk us around and tell us what I'm pointing at. And I'm looking at that red. This is part of your God Bless America collection
Yes.
right here.
Yes, and we like the red, white, and blue. It's just pretty unique, and we haven't had those colors. Well, we had the red and the blue, and at the Welcome Center, Alabama Welcome Center, they have some of my pottery up there, and it happens to be red, white, and blue, and it's been there for about 35 years, and nobody can find the key to unlock the glass case that it's in. I'd like to change it out.
But this is a
red,
beautiful
white, and
piece
blue
right
as
here
well.
too. I love that.
And it's pretty. We call those taco nights, those little condiment servers.
Oh, perfect.
And then we have the taco shells. And this is something that Miss Paula has created here, and we're kind of grateful to this. This is kind of a unique thing that you wouldn't believe. See, it says tacos, and you can put your shells in here, and it holds them up. But you can go a step further. You can put your ground beef, your taco mix in there, your cheese, and put it in the oven and heat them up, and then bring it out and put your sour cream and salad and all the makings on it after you
Don't
get
we
through.
all love tacos?
We do. And this is kind of a unique thing to,
I love that. And you made this? That is beautiful.
yes, she's getting quite creative.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a unique thing. And we sell quite a bit of these. And then these, we put your condiments in these so you can just reach and get them. So we call those taco night sets.
Oh, I love it. And I love the color blue this is. It's almost like a cobalt blue.
Well, it is. It's made with cobalt, and it's the brighter blue. And people are going back to the blues. For years and years, they kind of got away from it, but now they're going back to the blues. And then the blues and the whites look pretty together.
It does. I'm going to see how far I can stretch this. And so let's talk about what we've got here.
Well, this color we call lava, because we think it looks like molten lava running down. And so this is a very popular set of dinnerware. And then of course we have the farmhouse here, and then we call this color Lana Grand.
I love that.
This is named after my granddaughter. She loves purple, and so we did the splash up color, and we call it Lana Grand.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And she named after her. And it's so pretty. And
That's a legacy she's going to have that you gave her.
Pardon me?
That's a legacy she has. You
Absolutely. And then of course the farmhouse pieces. And they're pretty unique. And let's see, we have